Good morning, it's Mrs. Sherry. Hope you are doing well. And let's do some practice with order of operations. So you should have your interactive notebook handy. And remember, you've got the whole gems to follow, grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication and division, left to right, and subtraction and addition, left to right. So you've seen both of these before in class in our notes, and we talked about the different grouping symbols, which includes absolute value. You would do that first. Also the big fraction bar. And also a reminder, we talked about how some of those grouping symbols can first be a grouping symbol, like the parentheses or the fraction bar, and then after you simplify, they can then turn into fraction bar meaning division or parentheses meaning multiplication. So they could very well change jobs. So please have out your practice paper and let's do some of these examples in here and hopefully, okay, there. Oh, am I frozen or am I there? No, well, I'm not there. I'm kind of frozen. The assignment. So let me go. So order of operations, always remember, it's okay to not know, but it's not okay to not try. If you don't try, then for sure nothing's going to happen. We don't want that. So we're going to be able to use the order of operations to simplify expressions with signed numbers. And remember, expressions have no equal signs. So you should be making pizza slices and you should not be having equal signs any place on expressions. So make sure you're not writing equal signs. So for the 4 to the 5th power, if we see what that is, not in words, so here's the words, but exponential form, then we would have 4 to the 5th power. And remember, when we are typing, it might look like this, 4 to the 5th power. Oopsie, that wasn't a very good 5. That this little symbol here is telling you that the next number coming is an exponent. Then expanded form, that's where we show our repeated multiplication. So 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So it means 5 4s repeatedly being multiplied. It does not mean 4 times 5. No, no, no. So then standard form is like the answer. So if we take 4 times 4, we have 16. So we'd have 2 16s here and here. And then if we took 16 times 16, we have 16 times 4 times 4 times 4. Then 16 times 4 is 64, and then times 4 times 4. Well, 64 times 4 is 256. Bring down that last 4 that we didn't use, and we get 1024. So our standard form would be 1024. So remember, it is repeated multiplication. It is not just multiplying the two numbers that you see. Not 4 times 5. So please make sure you've added that to your assignment notebook. So you know if I say exponential form, that's the form with the exponent. Expanded form, that's this right here where you write out the numbers you're actually multiplying times themselves. And then standard form is like the answer. Okay, so we're following the gems. We've stepped it up from PEMDAS because PEMDAS is limiting. Now that you are doing more algebraic math, we need to expand that to include more options. So we already know about the grouping symbols, So parentheses, brackets, braces. Also the fraction bar or the absolute value symbol can count, depending on the situation. Then any exponents, multiplication or division left to right, so you'll pick them out of the problem, starting from the left and moving to the right, and then the same with subtraction or addition. That should be all that you have left. So do things in parentheses first. So even though this 5 plus 3 doesn't come first in the problem, you would do 5 plus 3 and get 8, and then 48. You should not do 6 times 5 first and just go left to right. Exponents come before multiplying, dividing, adding, or subtracting. That's following gems also. So if you have 2 squared, that means 2 times 2. So 5 times 4, and we get 20. We should not do 5 times 2 to get 10 and square that. That's wrong. Multiply or divide before you add or subtract. So we would not do 2 plus 5 and get 7 and do 7 times 3. We would have to do the multiplication first. If all you have is multiplication and division, you just go left to right, picking them out. So first we would do 30 divided by 5 and get 6, and then take that times 3. So you pull them out left to right. Multiplication does not come before division unless it comes to the left of it. So you scroll through left to right, just like you read. So here is an example of a pizza slice. So it starts off with 4 plus 10 times 2 cubed minus 16. So do we have any grouping symbols? We don't. Do we have any exponents? We absolutely do. So you can see how they took 2 cubed and turned that into 8. And then we just brought everything else down we haven't used. The 4, the plus, the 10, the times, the minus 16. Now, any more exponents? No. Any multiplication or division? Yes. So we have to do this right here. We're going to pick it out of the middle of the problem. So 10 times 8 is 80. And then bring down the pieces that we didn't use. So 4 plus 80 minus 16. And all we have left is subtraction and addition. So we are looking good there. And we go left to right. So 4 plus 80 is 84. Bring down the minus 16 that we haven't used yet, and then simplify that last form, 84 minus 16. And please box your answer. With all of this work, I have to be able that I can find what your actual answer is too. So make sure that each step is nice and neat. I have to be able to read it so that I can give you points for grading that. Okay, go ahead and try this one. 6 times 4 minus 12 divided by 3 minus 8. Please pause the video. Go ahead and solve it, and then you can start it up again once you have worked this problem out. Making a pizza slice with no equal signs and boxing your answer. Okay, so we would first let's look and see if we have any grouping symbols, and we don't. Any exponents? Nope, none of those. Any multiplication or division? Yes, we do. So we would have this first, it's left to right, so that 6 times 4 is 24, and then we're going to just bring down everything else. Minus 12 divided by 3 minus 8. And we still have some multiplication or division. We're going to pick it out of the problem wherever it is, but we go left to right. So 24 minus 12 divided by 3, that dividing sign should grab your attention. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Then we'll bring down the 24, the minus, and then after that, the minus and the 8. So now we are just doing subtraction and addition, so we'll go left to right. So 24 minus 4 is 20. Bring down what we didn't use, the minus 8, and then 20 minus 8 is 12. So we should get 12 for the answer to that problem. If you didn't get 12, please go back and see where's your mistake. Finding your mistake will help you ensure that you don't make it again next time. Okay, here's another one. 4 times 4 minus 3 times 3 minus 16 divided by 4. So again, follow the order of operations, GEMS, and pause the video while you work this out in your interactive notebook on that notes page. And then you can start it up again once you have completed to see, hopefully you got it right. Okay, so first, do we have any grouping symbols? No. Exponents? No. Multiplication and division? Yes. And we're going to go left to right. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then I'm just going to bring the rest of everything down. Minus 3 times 3 minus 16 divided by 4. So we still have multiplication and division. So here's multiplication as we move left to right. 3 times 3 is 9. And then bring down everything else that we didn't use. 16 minus, then minus 16 divided by 4. And we still have multiplication and division. So right here, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then bring down everything we didn't use. And now we're down to just subtraction and addition. So we'll again go left to right. 16 minus 9 is 7. Bring down what we haven't used, minus 4. And 7 minus 4 is 3. So 3 should be what you should get for that one. And if you didn't, please go back and find your error so that you don't make that again. Make sure you're going left to right with regard to multiplication and division. Okay, another one. Follow order of operations. Do we have any grouping symbols? We absolutely do. So we're going to be working inside here. And inside our grouping symbols, do we have grouping symbols? No. Inside our grouping symbols, do we have exponents? Yes. So we're going to simplify this. 2 cubed is 8 because that means 2 times 2 times 2. Then we'll bring down everything else inside the grouping symbols 3 times, and then the minus 5. Then we'll bring down the stuff in front that we don't need yet. So we're still in our grouping symbols, and inside the grouping symbols, you still follow GEMS. So we did the exponents. Do we have any multiplication or division inside there? Yes. 3 times 8 is 24. Bring down what we didn't use yet, the minus 5, the parentheses, and then the 20 minus in the front. Any more multiplication or division? No, but we are in here. And even though it's only multiplication and division, we still have to follow those grouping symbols. So 24 minus 5 is 19. And bring down the 20 and the minus, and then 20 minus 19 is 1. If you just went left to right and ignored these grouping symbols, then you would not get the right answer, because you're subtracting this whole thing, not just subtracting 24 and then subtracting 5. You're subtracting this whole bit. So you should have 1 for this one. Another example. So again, work this out in your interactive notebook. And then you can unpause the video and check to see, hopefully, that you got it right. So first off, do we have any grouping symbols? We absolutely do. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Then we'll bring down everything else, the squared, the minus, the 9 times 3 plus 2 cubed. So no more grouping symbols. Any exponents? Yes, at 2 cubed, that means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And I'll bring down the plus 3 times 9 minus 7 in front of that. No more exponents. Multiplication and division. We have to grab that out of the center. 9 times 3 is 27. Then bring down all of the rest. 7 minus 27 plus 8. Now all we have is subtraction and addition, and unlike the previous problem, there are no parentheses, so we can just go left to right. Except, let's see, I did drop my exponent. This is why it's good that we are okay with people making mistakes, because look at, even Mrs. Sherry can make mistakes. But I know you still love me, so that's all right. I'm fine to admit if I screw up. 7 squared is 49. There we go. Oh, except now I didn't do that in a separate step. Oh, darn it. I'll get this one of these days. 7 squared. Let me take off this because we're not going to do that first. We have to do our 7 squared, which is 49. 7 times 7. Now let me bring down the minus 9 times 3 plus 8. I hope you were raising your hand saying, stop, stop, you're messing up. Now I can do this 9 times 3, which is 27. And then bring down 49 minus and the plus 8 in the back there. So now we're down to where we have just addition and subtraction, and we go left to right because, unlike the previous problem, there is no parentheses to deal with, So 49 minus 27, that's 22. Bring down what we haven't used, which is the plus 8. And now I'm kind of running out of space here. 22 plus 8 would be 30. So we should have 30 for the answer for that one. Thanks for your grace there, allowing me to admit that I made a mistake. Okay, so thanks for your attention, and let's go back actually to the very first, back here, and let's see if it lets me. There we go. Okay, so the next thing then, I want you to work on this, which I'm sorry, it looks like maybe it's backwards on here. Let me flip and go this way. So this order of operations, the one with the A in the corner, this was handed out in class. It should be in your math folder, but I will attach it in Google Classroom. I don't expect that you can print things when you're at home, so don't worry about that. But I would expect then that you would neatly copy these problems onto lined paper, have your neat pizza slices with your boxed answers, and these are very similar to the problems that we just did. And I would say, I'll let you know the due date when I put it in Google Classroom, but pizza slices, no equal signs, and on these kinds of things when we're learning from home, I will need you to upload your work in Google Classroom where the assignment is. So please don't just email it to me, because then I won't be able to find assignments when they're all over the place. Emailing it to me would be the same as if you did your homework and you just popped in the room, laid it on a desk, and then darted out of there. So I still need you to be able to put things where they belong, please. So you'll need to upload the assignment, and if you're unsure how to do that, you can simply Google upload assignment in Google Classroom, and you'll find that tutorial that will help you. So let's flip this back here. Okay, so here I am back. Hello. So hopefully you don't have any more questions. If you do, simply come to open office hours, and I'm happy to help you with that. So I'll see you next time. Math rocks, and so do you. Bye.